Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. This is one of my smaller journals. Even though it's bigger in size, it is smaller in content. So it's one of the less expensive journals in my Etsy shop where shipping in North America is included in the price. They're super reasonable, like $50 US, some of them, it's crazy, and including shipping. So this one here is a beautiful book. I left it alone. I didn't want to add anything to it because it's not very often you see the debossed titles like this. It's just, everything about it is fantastic. I added some vintage necklace pieces, 2 different necklaces, and just added some chocolate brown lace to fancy it up a little bit. But let me show you the inside of this beautiful 1895 book. Look at that. How awesome. Harmony, I pulled that out of a vintage dictionary. This is the original first page. I did have to put it onto another sturdier piece because it was so incredibly brittle. And this is the first original page of that book as well. So there's a pocket here that you can put anything you like into, and I will probably put a little surprise in there for whoever purchases this journal. And then I love this doily table spread book from the 1950s, and I put a pineapple pattern piece on the back there because it says pineapple tablecloth. That is called a pineapple pattern. You can sort of get it. I just think that's wonderful. 1940s children's book page there, just lovely. Fun clusters here with interior book spines, lots of texture. This is from the 1800s here. That's the interior of a book spine. You can sort of see the embossing on the top there. It's really cool. This came from Tony's scrapbook from 1937. A nice little poem there. And in here is this wonderful Rideau Hall postcard from the about the 1920s. And then a little journaling spot under here and under here, and I just added a little bit of lace. And this is an antique music piece here, and I put that in because there's some space to journal here, but just because it's really cool. It was part of this book, so I wanted to have at least one of the music pieces from the original book in here. There's a plate from the early 1900s. And then here's a little peekaboo journaling spot. 1930s children's book page, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I love that. That came from the 1940 newspaper, and that's from 1926, that piece there. And just another piece from a children's school book. Oopsie. And then another one of these wonderful bedspread books here. And I added more doily down here. 1925 Things to Make and Do book. Look at that. Making things out of paper. That's exactly where this belongs, in a book that is made out of paper. And then this is an 1800s book page. More fun clusters, 1930s children's book page. And look at this wonderful piece here. Isn't that terrific? Kids out on the lawn. July Intermediates. Oh, July Intermediates. So that would have been from a summer camp there. Put that back in the little sweetheart pocket I made. And here is a beautiful plate from 1905. Isn't that great? And you can journal on the back of that or do anything you like with it. And all of that is mounted on top of an 1856 book of history, which is just beautifully foxed. There we go. Look at the bulldog. This is from the 1932 French Almanac from Paris. Just really great pieces here. You can pop that into Google Translate, take a picture of it, and it'll tell you all about the articles, which are pre-war and very cool. That is an interior book spine from an antique book. And then I made this little journaling card here from a vintage dictionary. And there is a journaling envelope there as well from an antique book page. And here is one of the rare color plates from that 1856 history book. And that is The Last Insurrection at Paris from 1840. It's just spectacular to have that little piece of history there from a, 100 and... Don't make me do the math. A really old book. Another wonderful children's book page. Another fun cluster here. This is a 1953 receipt from a home-owned store. It's really fun to read all these little receipts from front to back. I just find them fun and fascinating. There is a little teeny tiny banknote from 1924, and it expired in 1974. And then this is just a little journaling page I made here. I did some stamping on the front. Just thought it was pretty. Paper lantern book from 1925. Things to Make and Do. There's a nice piece of bedspread there. And 1957 Theater Art World magazine. There's the cover of that one. All the different plays going on in 1957. More things to make and do here. Paper vegetable dolls. Come on, I love it. This is from the early 1900s, American Gardens. In the Midst of Life, one of those beautiful blank vintage flip chart pages. And then this came from my 1939 Birds of America book plates. And there's another pineapple pattern here from a different doily. Very fine, fine lace there. And then here is from 1950s children's school book about words that mean things. Wonderful antique page here wrapped around. And this is just the cover of the vintage almanac. Isn't that fun? A Gardener's Almanac, the bicentennial. So I'm guessing that is 1976. And there we go. Brings us to these wonderful advertisements in the back of the Theater World magazine and the last page of the book. It's really fun. It's only the 3 signatures, so I hope you'll check it out in my Etsy shop at hyperstamper.etsy.com, and come back soon. Don't forget to subscribe.